introduce our first speaker, Yogashree N.V. Raghuram, the chairman of Yoga Bharati and professor at VYASA, India. He has a topic, Bhagavad Gita, War or Peace. One has to look at the entire situation to be able to understand the Bhagavad Gita in a proper context. The Bhagavad Gita does not strictly fall in the realm of good or bad. As it happens to Arjuna at the end of the Bhagavad Gita, we get the clarity to take our own decision in the battle of life.
Thank you and namaste to all. It's my pleasure to share a few ideas with you on Bhagavad Gita. Before I go into the topic, suddenly after coming here, I got this book, and that is Holy War, Violence and the Bhagavad Gita. Exactly the same topic I'm going to talk. And of course, it's a compilation of several papers from various points of view, like Sri Aurobindo's point of view, Mahatma Gandhi and Ahimsa, etc. So many things are there, nice topics. And the person who brought this, Deepak, he told me that you don't want to leave this book once you take it. Such a wonderful book. It is there in the sales section downstairs. You might want to have it. And this is the they have this order listing. It's actually $25, whereas today in the sales section, because of this conference, they're offering it for $20. So thank you so much for bringing it here. The war is not an ordinary war. The peace is also not an ordinary peace. And that's what basically Gita becomes an extraordinary text. Because, let me substantiate my statement why I said that war is not an ordinary war. Basically, that by the time this war precipitated, it was almost like absolutely segregated between the good and bad. You might see some good on the bad side, but they are helplessly there on the side. But by that time, actually, it was so precipitated that in order to show that how that precipitation has taken place, Krishna played a very important role there. Let me just go back into a little bit of the context in Mahabharata war. That these people, they finished the Ajnatavasa, the incognito period of 1 year, and then they came back, happily sitting there. Krishna comes there and asks, "What are you doing?" Then we are waiting. Waiting for what? Waiting for Kauravas to invite us and give us a kingdom. To say that they are waiting to give you kingdom. Forget about it. Immediately Bhima says, "You mean to say that they are waiting to give you the kingdom? If that was the case, then why did they send you to the forest?" Immediately, Bhima, very strong, he says, "If they don't give us, we fight." You always talk about fight. Did you go and ask them? No. And if you don't go and ask, then how do they give you? You go and ask. Immediately the great fellow Yudhishthira says, "Okay, I will go and ask." Hey, you are a king, you should not go and ask. You should send an emissary. See, Krishna is absolutely practical. He says you should send an emissary. Then who can be emissary? Krishna says, "I go." "Oh, you are a god. How can you go?" He said, "Look, I am a nobody. I don't even have a kingdom of my own. I don't have anything. So I can go and ask. What's wrong about it?" Draupadi has a point there. If you go and ask, they'll give you kingdom. Because you are a great fellow. He said, "Look, I am great to you, not for those fellows. They don't give us kingdom. Be prepared for war." So Krishna goes there. And nice thing about Krishna is that he goes there and discusses, and you know that what happened, that they tried to even burn Krishna there. But anyway, Krishna escaped. He came out. And at that time he made one point. He said that, look, Pandavas are not fighting the war. You are inviting them for war. Okay? Of course, various other things he talks about, but I will not go into that detail. War is not fought by Pandavas. The war has come to their 4 steps. We need to recognize that. War comes to the doorsteps, we need to fight that. It is like the way that somebody doesn't even have this sickness and you start giving him antibiotic. I mean, sickness comes to your doorstep and then give the medicine. And war is like a medicine. War is not against peace, this war is for the peace. Because war has come to the doorsteps and it's segregated. Arjuna it is segregated between the good and bad people. I cannot go into the detail, but Arjuna basically comes to the idea that he is the leader of the good people. Absolutely good, consciously good, given a chance he was good, given an opportunity to be bad, he was still good. Like when he went to N.V.Raghuram, Menaka comes to him and says that, look, we can marry. He said, look, I came here for learning. Indra is my father like and you are like my mother. Oh, in N.V.Raghuram there is nothing like father and mother, you are all together. I come here only for learning, I can't be here. She said, I will curse you. You can even curse me, but I don't want to step out. See, that means honestly good, sincerely good. And then, on the other side, Duryodhana, consciously bad, given an advisor, they are bad. Poor fellow is stupid, born to 2 blind people. I mean, one is consciously blind, the other is naturally blind. Okay? And then, that is the end of it. So, when the war took place, Arjuna has a problem. Duryodhana didn't have any problem. Duryodhana was still happy. Duryodhana says, when Krishna and Arjuna were talking, what is it they were talking? Why don't they start the war? Bhishma immediately replies to Duryodhana saying that, hey, you have brought this war this far. It will take place in another 5-10 minutes. Okay? Don't be in a hurry to die. No, who said I am going to die? They are actually discussing to run away from the warfare. They are seeing our strength, they are afraid of us. Actually, it was true that Arjuna was trying to run away, but not because of fright. Not because of fear. He had some different reasons. Duryodhana, when he says like that, Bhishma says, okay, anyway, you have always been stupid. Now you are nothing new now. So let me not worry about it. So that means it's absolute good, absolute bad, and the fight is between good and bad. And then Arjuna had a problem, Duryodhana didn't have a problem. That gives us 2 important messages. One thing is, just being good, you are not free from problems. Being good is by nature that you be good, not because of something else. And then just because somebody is bad does not mean we suffer. Duryodhana is bad. Ultimately it might be a different story, but at that point of time, and then Gita started. So, another important message there is, Gita is not a text which talks about what is good, what is bad. Because Arjuna for 25 years he followed what is good. If Krishna is standing there and telling Arjuna that, hey Arjuna, do good, don't do bad. No, respect your elders, do this, do that. Arjuna will say, that's what I have done all these years and then I landed here. You're still asking me to do the good. So, message is not about good and bad. Other religions, other spiritual texts, they only talk about what is right, what is wrong, what is good, what is bad, what is okay, what is not okay. But Gita is not a text to take that, give us that message. Gita is a message, Gita is a text which takes us gives us a message which is beyond the level of good and bad. This is something which is extraordinary. That's where whether Bible, Talmud, which talk about the 10 commandments, etc., all these things start, Gita begins. In fact, for what is saying right, what is wrong, to say that, you don't require a Krishna to come and give you. It's only a traffic police will tell you what is right, what is wrong. You see, you don't need Krishna. Krishna is essentially a person who has to give us a message about the level of good and bad. And that above the level of good and bad is the case where you are really into the peace. See, that peace is an extraordinary peace. Now, how to rise above that level? Very simple thing. The good and bad, right and wrong, belongs to the body level. What is the right food? What is not the right food? Body level. What's the right learning? What is not right learning? Belongs to the mind level, which is all at the basic matter level. And then look at the way that Krishna takes Arjuna to. Arjuna is complaining in the first chapter that, oh, all these people will be killed, I will be killing them, and they will all be dead, and then so many people will be rendered without any this thing, and then Varna Sankaraha, etc., he says. And then Krishna says, look at the Krishna's answer. He says, Achet, yoyam adah, yoyam maklet, yoshyoshya mevacha. Don't worry about this, don't worry about that. Nobody will be killed. Nainam chindanti shastran. Hari, you are having bow and arrow in your hands, and you are standing in the war field, and then you are ready to shoot your arrows. And then here is Krishna saying that, Achet, yoyam adah, yoyam maklet, yoshyoshya mevacha. What is this nonsense you are talking about? Can I try? But basically the idea is that shows that Arjuna is talking from the level of body. Krishna is talking from the level of consciousness, soul. This is the first indication to show that what is this Bhagavad Gita aiming at? It is aiming at only way that you can solve a problem is rise above the level of good and bad, rise above the level of body, rise to the level of consciousness, because the simple reasoning, you are consciousness, body is something that you use. Body is something that you use. Yeah, if I don't use your body, I can use somebody else's body. God wants to kill all these people. That's why Krishna says all these people are anyway dead. You don't have to worry about it. They're already dead. The only thing is, we are here only just to sign, that's all, nothing else. See, this is exactly what basically the way that Bhagavad Gita gives us a message. Now, once we understand that, the beauty, the greatness of Krishna is how slowly, steadily, step by step, he takes one above the level of this body to the level of consciousness. When he is taking that way, Arjuna has a complaint, Arjuna has a worry there. He says, what is this nonsense that we are talking about? On one side you say karma is good, on the other side you say jnana is good. What is right, what is wrong? You are confusing me. He says, you are really putting me into confusion. Just tell me. What is right, what is wrong? Like Bhyamasmakavah Partha. Why are you worried about all these things? Krishna says to Arjuna, you can rise above that level. And that's where basically the ideas of yoga comes into the picture. Now look at the whole thing. Everybody has a Vishada, but Arjuna's Vishada has become Vishada Yoga. Because what we stop is that whenever we have suffering, we stop at the level of finding out a solution at the mundane level, at that level itself. Whereas Arjuna has that capacity, that's why his name is Arjuna. He has a capacity to take that level where this is, look, okay, if you want me to leave the body and go above, I'm prepared for that. I can go to a higher level and then see that I can seek the solution from a high point of view. So that direction, that what yoga essentially is a message that which can take you from the body level identification to the consciousness level. Why? It's because that we are consciousness, we are not the body. Look at the children. They come to the body level only when it is necessary. Otherwise they are blissful. Bliss is the consciousness. They are always blissful. They are fine. They don't come to the body level. But where an adult is something who is caught up at the body level, once in a while touches that bliss level, consciousness level. Now Arjuna is at the body level, Krishna is at consciousnus level. And that's why Krishna says, look, consciousness is the base of the creation. That's why he says that this knowledge has been there. I have taught to Arjuna. Surya, I taught you this and that, all those things. Imam Mam Vyaspati Prabhu, Manviksha Kave Pravi. I told already all those things. Oh my God. You are like me, 42 years old, and then you say that you taught to Krishna, you taught to Surya. That's where basically the indication comes. And Krishna shows not only that he can rise, you can rise. Each one of us can rise. That's where basically Arjuna says that all this is a nice, wonderful information, all right, but where is the experience? You say that I'm consciousness, you say that you are consciousness, how do you experience that? That's where basically the 11th chapter, the Vishwarupa Sandarsha is there. That's the chapter where basically I would say Bhagavad Gita, if you try to find out the peak, like Himalayan peak, Everest, that's what is 12th chapter. So once your journey is in that way, that's where basically that you leave the war, you go beyond the war to the level of peace, which is a peace which never goes away, in spite of the fact that you fight a war. See, then what happens? The fighting the war becomes like a surgery that a medical doctor does. That's what we are really looking for. That's what is the message of Bhagavad Gita. Thank you so much for listening to me. I will stop at this place. I mean, not to say about that. Thank you so much.